Discover the history behind animation. Filled with imagination, innovation, and creativity. So join me as we discover the beauty of imagination in the world of animation. Steven Spielberg is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, making well-known classics like Jurassic Park, E.T., and Jaws. But those weren't the only projects he made. He also made some animated projects like shows and movies. And surprisingly, at one point, he had his own animation studio. After his successful work of working alongside Robert Zemeckis on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Steven had that one point in his life where he was obsessed with animation, and he still is even to this day. And because of that, he made some of the most incredible animated projects in the world, which include some shows like Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain. And at that point, he was so obsessed he even made his own animation studio titled Amblimation, which was a part of his own company, Amblin Entertainment. And the studio would go on to make some of the most interesting films of its time, which include An American Tail, Fievel Goes West, We're Back, A Dinosaur Story, and their final film, Balto. The reason why I say that is because this was one of the shortest-lived animation studios of all time. And I gotta say, the studio is really good even to this day. I mean, it has some solid animation and a lot of good films. With their first film, An American Tail, Fievel Goes West, it was a sequel to the Don Bluth classic An American Tail. The second film they made was called We're Back, A Dinosaur Story, which showed what would happen if dinosaurs came to our world and if they could talk and sing. So yeah, that movie was more for the kiddos. But still, it was a good film overall. And then there was Balto, their final film, and let me just say, this film is amazing. I consider it to be one of Steven Spielberg's greatest films. Trust me, if you haven't seen it, please do so. It's amazing. And if you're wondering why the studio shut down after Balto, it's because their films didn't do so well at the box office. Nothing majorly big or anything, they just didn't do well. And because of that, Amblimation had to come to an end. But it wasn't really gone for good, because it did turn into something else. Because believe it or not, Amblimation was soon turned into DreamWorks Animation. Yes, the same DreamWorks who brought us Shrek, Madagascar, Kung Fu Panda, and so much more. So if you technically think about it, Steven Spielberg created DreamWorks and helped the animators from Amblimation move there. You know, I never would have expected a well-known person like Steven Spielberg to be one of the co-founders of DreamWorks, but now that I've discovered it, I'm still surprised. The studio may have had a small lifespan, but who would have guessed it would turn into something incredible in the end?